think you need to know or speak Korean before coming to Korea as a foreigner?
For me at least, I came here without knowing Korean.
Can you get by without knowing Korean in Korea?
I think you can get by, but it's going to be awkward and difficult, honestly.
Do you speak Korean?
Yes, I do speak Korean.
한국어 어떻게 배우게 되셨나요?
처음에 이제 제가 장학금을 받고서는 한국에 오게 됐는데요.
Where are you from?
I'm from France.
How long have you been in Korea?
2 months.
Do you think you need to speak Korean to be able to live or travel to Korea?
I think you have to know the basics because not everyone speaks English here, and I mean just in daily life, how are you gonna make friends, like Korean friends, and get into the culture if you stay on the long term? I think it's not a good idea to not speak Korean, and even just I don't think it's quite extremely respectful of the country. I mean, you're living here, you're living here, and you're not willing to speak Korean and just to get integrated.
So do you think you can actually get by? Let's say you're traveling in Korea. Do you think you can get by without speaking or knowing Korean?
I'm not sure because here we're in Seoul, it's a big city, everyone knows just the basics, but in the countryside, it's really hard to find actually people who speak English more than just hello, and I don't think that's possible.
Are there any specific neighborhoods or areas in Korea that are more foreigner friendly?
Yeah, I think the basics like Itaewon or Hongdae, because there's a lot of young people and young people tend to speak more English, and I think maybe around universities.
Do you think foreigners should learn Korean before coming to Korea?
I think before coming, you don't have to learn Korean, but maybe just like I said, just know the basics, and then here you can take classes and improve. And since you're always surrounded by Korean people, you're gonna improve really quickly.
Do you speak Korean?
Yeah, I know the basics. I can go to the restaurant. I can maybe just bargain a bit, but I cannot have a really long conversations because I'm still learning, and I started maybe 1 year ago.
한국말 어떻게 배우게 되셨나요?
저는 대학교에서 한국어를 공부해요. 그리고 한국 사람하고 이야기해요.
Where are you from?
I'm from Indonesia.
I'm from Bahrain.
Do you think you need to know or speak Korean before coming to Korea as a foreigner?
For me at least, I came here without knowing Korean. I can read Hangul, but that's about it. So day-to-day life, I feel like it's fine. But then again, if you want to feel comfortable to be in Korea, yes. But is it possible? Yes. Without knowing Korean to come to Korea.
I think so. I think if you're a tourist, you can kind of get around easily if you go to the tourist spots. But I think in terms of wanting to interact, even as an exchange student, in the university, you kind of need to know a little bit just to get around because you are not going to find everybody who can speak English, or if they do speak English, they kind of are scared to speak English. So it's kind of this ongoing dilemma.
Is it difficult to live in Korea as a foreigner without speaking or knowing the language?
Oh, I would say, yeah, it is pretty difficult, but it's not impossible because then again, nowadays I feel a lot of announcements at least, and public settings, it is both in English and Korean. But for us, at least as university students, there's still a lot of things that they announce in Korean. So yeah, it's pretty hard to get by with only English, I would say, because yeah, a lot of things are still only in Korean because then again, it's only directed towards Koreans as well, mostly. So yeah, it's pretty hard.
I do definitely think so. I do think though there is a kind of a change compared to when I first came here, was fully in Korean. I remember actually being yelled at the quarantine center because I didn't know what Sengil was, and I was chill, just give me a second to actually think about it. But I do think now that Korea is kind of becoming a bit more international and stuff, so they're actually kind of becoming a bit more English friendly. But I definitely do think that you still do need Korean. It's probably a long time until Korea actually changes, so you do need to have Korean, otherwise it's going to be a really big struggle.
Are there any specific neighborhoods out here in Korea that are foreign friendly for foreigners that don't speak Korean or know Korean?
I would say it's gonna be Itaewon or like Hongdae, because like there's a lot of foreigners there, but especially I would say Itaewon.
Yeah, definitely Itaewon, Noksapyeong, like those areas. Like maybe DDP, because there are a lot of like foreign restaurants there too. So you'll probably find people who can speak English there.
Are there any resources that you can recommend to other Korean learners out there, like websites, apps for just learning Korean?
I used italki. Italki is a really helpful resource, and I really do think that like it's good because they have like different options for like prices depending on your budget and stuff, and they actually have like separate different focuses. So if you want to focus more on topic, there are teachers that are like specifically just like trained to teach you like topic related content, and if like you just want like a day-to-day conversation, there is that too. So I do think it's quite diverse in like the teachers that they offer too.
Although I speak a little bit of Korean, one of the ways I maintain my Korean is through italki, an online language learning platform who is the sponsor of today's video. What's unique about italki is that you can take customizable one-on-one language lessons with certified native speaking teachers at any time, anywhere. And they have more than 150 languages for you to choose from. To find the right teacher for you, you can search by lesson category, where the teacher is from, or even use the search bar to narrow down your results. Another great thing about italki is that you can pay per lesson, which means no subscriptions, no commitments, and lessons are priced as low as $5. I took lessons from Morning, who is a professional teacher here in Seoul, South Korea, and we had a chat about Korea, and it was extremely fun.
그러면 한국 대학교에서 공부했어요?
네, 그 지방에 있는 대학교에 갔어가지고 네. 그럼 혹시 이 일을 언제부터 시작하게 되셨나요?
저는 2020년쯤부터 시작하게 됐는데요.
So, what are you waiting for? Start your language learning journey now by clicking the link in the description box below and use the promo code KEXPLORER to get an extra 5 credits on your first lesson. And it's only available to the first 50 users. Thanks to italki for making this video possible. Where are you from?
I'm from Slovakia.
How long have you been in Korea?
I am now in my senior year and I've been here since 2020. I entered as a freshman in the fall semester.
As a foreigner that I've lived here for about 3 to 4 years now, based on your personal opinion, do you think foreigners, before coming to Korea, need to learn or know how to speak Korean?
For me personally, I think it's very much appreciated when foreigners know at least the basics. For example, how to at least read Hangul and how to say like basic things like thank you, hello, like to that extent. But now Seoul at least is very much becoming English friendly, and now a lot of menus are even listed in English these days. So if you're a tourist, I think it's not needed necessarily, but as someone that wants to live here long term, I think it's very appropriate to learn the language.
Can you get by without knowing Korean in Korea?
I think you can get by, but it's going to be awkward and difficult, honestly.
How so?
I mean, the apps are also in English, but if your pronunciation is good enough in Korean and you say something in Korean, the Koreans often assume you're fluent. So that can become very awkward when they just start spitting the language at you. Yeah, you can survive, but I always advise everyone to learn the language, honestly.
한국말 어떻게 배우게 되셨나요?
저 여기서 코리아 대학교에서 공부했어요.
한국어 얼마나 공부하게 되셨나요?
거의 3년 정도. 네.
Where are you from?
I'm from Azerbaijan.
And how long have you been in Korea?
6 years will be soon, yeah.
Do you think foreigners coming to Korea need to know Korean?
I think since the official language is not English in Korea, it's good to know Korean. It's gonna help you a lot with traveling or other stuff, because as soon as you leave Seoul, outside of Seoul is gonna be basically based in Korean. There's a lot of people in neighborhoods that are outside of Seoul won't know English that well. I used to live in a city called as Cheonan or Asan. I used to do my language course there. When I was in that city, barely anyone spoke English, so I was struggling with that, I would say.
For maybe like travelers coming out to Korea for travel, or like they want to like move out from the country, do you think like if they live in Seoul, they're gonna find it difficult living in Seoul without knowing the language?
If they're coming for a short time, I don't think it matters that much. But once you know the language, it's gonna help you a lot. Like I think there are two ways of experiencing the life in Korea. It's just one is as a foreigner, second is as a foreigner who speaks Korean well. Because when you know Korean well, especially, you're going to experience from inside out. But when you just live here with foreigners that only speak English, you will be seeing what's in Korea only on the surface. You won't know what's happening inside, and that's going to basically limit your experience, I would say.
Do you speak Korean?
Yes, I do speak Korean.
한국어 어떻게 배우게 되셨나요?
처음에 이제 제가 장학금을 받고서는 한국에 오게 됐는데요. 이제 저희 프로그램에서는 한국어를 만약에 이제 토픽 최소 3급을 못 따면은 대학교를 못 들어가는 상태니까 다들 1년 동안 이제 어학당을 다니면서 3급을 따게 됐고 3급을 이제 못 딴 사람들은 자기 나라로 돌아가게 되고.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sri Lanka originally. Yep.
And how long have you been in Korea?
Roughly 10 months now.
As a foreigner, do you think foreigners come into Korea or that would like to live in Korea need to learn Korean?
I would say when I first moved to Korea, I knew little to no Korean. And even now, I'm still very much struggling with Korean, but it would really be helpful if you do know Korean when you first move to Korea. But I also would say, like, in Korea, especially in university, there'll be people who'll be there to help you out, like the students, even the teachers, the professors. So along the way, you'll be able to, like, learn the language, but it will be very beneficial if you do know the language when first moving here.
Do you think you can get by in Korea without knowing Korean?
Oh, 100%. Like for me, for the first 5 to 6 months, like I had no knowledge of Korean, although I was in university. But however, I was able to get by quite easily because the Koreans are wonderful. Like they help her out, like as much as possible. So it's possible, but for the convenience purposes, you would require at least the basic knowledge of Korean.
For other Korean learners, are there any apps or websites that I can use to like learn Korean?
I'd say the one that's helped me a lot was definitely YouTube. I'd say YouTube is that there are so many people who are Koreans who are very good in English that's willing to do content for free on YouTube. I think that's one of the methods you can actually learn. Or there are certain apps you can actually download where you can meet a Korean online. But I think over that, YouTube is a more like a better application if you do want to learn Korean.